in the room. How you doing?
Perfect. Who better than Derek, Pat, Andrew, the wrestling crew? Man, they bout to put an end to y'all careers like a finishing move. They bout to give y'all facts on these cats that's fighting on these mats. Y'all can't see them like John Cena. Even if y'all had 20/20 vision, y'all better listen, pay attention, and take notes down and realize that it's not your time now. And watch these three kings take the crown. Hey, hey.
This is the Unbreakable Rob Fury with SWF Live Pro Wrestling. And you're not listening to Elvis Presley. You're listening to the greatest pro wrestling podcast in the world. Wrestling IQ 101.
Guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, alongside Pat and Derek.
You.
And you guys can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. Also at WrestlingIQ101.com. And today, our special guest is Brandon the Bull, man. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great, man.
Doing well, man.
Real great. Real great. How are you?
I'm all right. Hanging in there.
Hanging in there. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Former UWA Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, that's
we're
the
so
issue.
hurt by
That's
it,
the-
man.
That's the issue. Former.
Former, we're hurt.
Well, not only that, but he's the first ever Grand Slam champion,
First
UWA
ever.
Elite.
That was a big
Yep.
accomplishment. Let's jump into that. How did that feel? You know, just winning the heavyweight championship and like especially at UWA. Like how did that feel to you?
It was awesome because like I just didn't see it happening. I really didn't. And when it happened, it happened. Like I wasn't told it was happening. It just happened.
Yeah.
Like that's the way I have to put it. But it was pretty surreal, and I had big shoes to fill. And I think I did a good job for the 2 months that I had it.
Yeah.
But the plan is to get it back and hold it longer and have a full run with it as opposed to just 2 months.
And there was this like crazy moment after the match with Arcadia. The whole locker room came out and they were all like celebrating. They picked you up. Like,
Yeah.
Talk about that. And were you worried they were going to drop you? Like, what happened?
No. Well, Travis was the first guy. TJ was the first guy to come out, which is my brother, TJ Blade. And then Seaway and Sean and everybody. And I was just like, wow, this is really happening. And I looked at Sean and I was like, can I go up? Like, can you guys pick me up? And he goes, oh, we'll try. And he did it. And if you go back and you watch it, I actually hold the belt up and then I pull it back down and make sure it's not upside down because I didn't want to break Ollie. And then I put it back up. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a fun moment. I cried because it just happens, but I didn't see it coming. That's the main reason.
Definitely. It kind of reminded me. I don't know if I would think this is a compliment, but like when Mick Foley won the title the first time.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I wish I was where he is right now.
Yeah, like DX came out and like lifted him up and
Yeah.
everything. I thought that was great.
It was awesome. It was fun.
It's funny because it kind of reminded me of WrestleMania 10, where Owen is like seething with jealousy. And like you could just feel that from Arcadia, like this guy is so mad right now.
Yeah.
Like, and he even said it like, where was his celebration? When he won and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He was pretty.
It was great because like Dave uploaded the photos on Facebook, like us shaking hands, like Triple H would do with the NXT guys.
Yeah.
Because I told Dave, I was like, you should start doing that. Like when wrestlers win belts, you should
Yeah.
start like shaking hands and posting pictures.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool, and he's done it ever since. But that was the funny part about it was like me and Dave was just like, all right, let's do it. So we did it and uploaded, and Arcadia was just like fuming from it. So it was great.
Oh man, and you also you got your own like customized belt, like
Yeah.
Like,
Well, now it seems like that's a thing. Like Arcadia put the A on it,
A.
so it seems like people are gonna take that and run with it.
Yeah.
I had no idea about it either because
Yeah.
I had to give the belt away for them to change the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was sent a picture of the belt, I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when that thing came out, I was like, oh, this is sick. And then I was like, damn, he's going to have this belt for like at least a year, too.
Yeah, no.
It was funny because he came over, like, he pulled the chair next to me, Arcadia, and he was bragging about the A on top of it. And I'm like, yeah, this is like the funniest thing.
UWA champ. Yeah,
UWA champ.
it's funny. I think it's just because, like, think about it for a second. Like, what would you put on there for Arcadia? Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't really, he's just Arcadia. He's the best.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a bull, so obviously I'm going to put a bull skull on it. TJ Blade versus Arcadia at last breath. If TJ Blade somehow wins, what does he put on it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
now
a spinner belt or something, right?
just a giant 45-pound dumbbell. But no, like, it's cool too because they changed the little diamonds on it. Like, I got, when Arcadia had it, he had diamonds. So then when I won it, I put gold jewels on it. When Hedges was champ, he had blue and red ones. When Sean Damage was champ, he had green ones. So if TJ wins, he would have red and yellow.
Oh, that is cool.
So it's like it changes with each person. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the hardcore title. Remember that? Like they would put like license plates on there and stuff like that. So you guys just like run amok with the title. That'd be awesome.
It's cool because it's like WWE does it. WWE has the custom gold side plates.
Yeah.
So like now we get the custom side plates too. One's with your face, one's with your logo. Like it's just cool to be able to see it change and be like, oh wow, it kind of like it changes it because then you know who's champ.
Yeah.
So
Now with the belts, is it like? Do you guys get to like keep those things? Like
I took mine home.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I took mine home. You get to take it home. It's just like it depends. It depends who the promoter is, the company is.
Yeah.
So like UWA people have always taken the belts home. But then we run into incidents where like you never know what's gonna happen. Like when last year the whole thing with Mike happened, he had the trios belts.
Yeah.
So like we had to get the belts back. We've run into instances where we've had to track people down and get belts back.
Oh,
like
man.
so.
I'm
You have
never
to be-
giving mine back.
I don't think they want yours.
You know what? Mine's gonna be the most blinged out championship of all time. So.
Oh my goodness. So now with the Brandon the Bull character, like tell us, how did you like come up with that?
I don't know. It's just like it was just a nickname in high school that I was given when football and everything, and everyone called me Bull. So it was just like, all right, well, let's run with this.
Yeah.
Like I always wanted to be like everybody always said I was like a giant animal.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what's a cool giant animal? And Bull came to mind, and I was like, Brandon the Bull. All right, well,
Yeah.
let's run with that. Good thing I didn't pick Bear because Bronson's
Yeah,
around
Bronson,
right now.
yeah.
And that's someone that I want to have a match with really bad. I want to really build it as the Bear versus the Bull. I think that'd be really cool. So somebody
It would
should
be.
book that if anyone's listening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
cool.
book
There was
that.
also a Bull versus Bull match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How was that? How was getting in the ring with Bull?
it was
James?
awesome. It was awesome. The only thing that could have made it better was if it was a triple threat and El Torito was in there.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, like, if Chikara's listening, King of Trios, Brandon Bull, Dempsey, and El Torito, let's do it.
Oh man.
How did the mask come about? Because you have a pretty unique mask.
Well, UWA in 2012 had their debut show, Setting the Standard, in March. And I was not booked on the show. And Dave Swan told me that the reason I was not booked on the show was because I was a 16-year-old kid who had a baby face. And I flipped out on him, being a 16-year-old kid. Oh, what the hell? Why am I not booked? This and that. Am I not good enough? And a week later, he hits me up and he goes, how do you feel about wearing a mask? And I was just like, let me think about it. And I thought about it, and he paid for the mask. My first ever mask, Dave Swan paid for. And I put it on, and it stuck. I liked it. Everybody liked it, so we ran with it.
Was it uncomfortable the first night with the mask? Did you feel?
No, it was awesome. No, it was awesome because, he originally sent me the picture, and he goes, this is the mask I want to order. I said, okay, order it. And then he ordered the first one, and then I went on myself to order a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally, last year, 2 years ago, I finally was like, okay, it's time to get my own custom mask. Because the ones that I was ordering were like the pre-made stuff, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like pre-made gear and stuff. So those were the ones that I was ordering. And then I was like, all right, time to get my own custom mask and run with it. And I just felt so, like, towards the end, I felt like so concealed in it. So I was like, I think I want to cut the top open. And then I cut the top open and I was like, I think I want to grow my hair out. And then it just all started piecing together and came out pretty cool, I would say.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty sick,
Yeah.
man. You look like a monster
Right,
out
yeah,
there, man.
definitely.
Thank you. That's
When
the
you're-
goal.
When you're wearing the mask, like, what ways do you use to really sell to the audience and, like, really make expressions and emotions?
I use my my body language. So like if I'm in shock, I'll put my hands on my head and I'll widen my eyes. Some people can't see my eyes, but hopefully they'll see the hands on the head and see that I'm shocked. So then it's a whole different element, because then I have to use my body language over facial features as other wrestlers would use. So it's a little hard, but I've worked with it, and I think I'm at my peak right now and only getting better with that.
Do you think if you ever had to, like, take the mask off like Kane did, that you would find it difficult to transition to wrestling without the mask? Just because you're so used to it?
I think it would be difficult at first, but I think I'd pick up quickly from it, because I've had matches without my mask before. It's just now I'm so accustomed to it that it would be harder to. But like then there's guys like Sami Zayn. You watch Sami Zayn on TV and you're like, oh, his facial expressions are so good. Like, why did he ever wear a mask to begin with? And it's just, I think that it'd be hard at first, but I would come accustomed to it.
Talking about the mask at Brawl for All, you were unmasked. Did you feel embarrassed? Did you feel, taken advantage of when that mask came off? Like,
It was weird. It was very weird, because that was only the second time ever that my mask was ripped off. And the first time was in 2013, so a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the second time it was ever ripped off. And it was very weird, because I didn't see it coming. That's the only word I can use for it. It was weird. Like, I don't know how to explain that.
Do you feel like you're, like, because in Mexico, your mask is a symbol of pride. Did you feel like somebody was trying to take your pride away?
Yeah, I felt betrayed, and my pride was taken away, and it killed a little part of me, because then there's people in that crowd that don't really know what I look like. There's obviously people in the locker room that know what I look like, but there's a lot of people in the crowd that don't know what I look like. Most of the crowd doesn't know what I look like, so it was just like, oh no, gotta cover my face, because then I had no defense, because he just grabbed me and chucked me over the top rope.
Yeah. And also, let's talk about you and Drake Chambers. I mean, you guys, accusing each other of taking each other's opportunities away. You have anything you want to say to him, or you want to talk about that situation?
I don't think there's anything to say about that situation. It's done and buried with.
Yeah.
I beat him. He beat me the first time.
Yeah.
Broke my ankle. I beat him the second time, and got in the brawl for it all. And then he tried to screw me, and he accidentally screwed Kyle. So it came back to bite him.
He has a big task, with Kyle Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to, let's say, did you have any wrestlers that were like bulls or symbols of bulls that you liked when you were younger? Like, let's say like Bull Buchanan, Bull James, the Brahma Bull.
I mean, I liked Bull James. I did like Bull James. I liked El Torito, and I'm glad that when El Torito got released from WWE, someone jumped on it and teamed me immediately with him. So that was cool. And it was very weird teaming with El Torito, because he didn't speak English.
Yeah.
So we were trying to figure out how to talk about the match. It was a weird match. It was me and El Torito versus King Tech and Pinky Sanchez. Yeah. So that is just weird in general. But, so then calling the match on top of that was even weirder, because he didn't speak English. So Caveman was on that show, and he speaks Spanish. Yeah. So I pulled him over, and I was just like, hey, help me out here. we're lost. We don't know. So that was weird. It was fun. But no bull characters.
No Mantar or something.
No Mantar, yeah.
I mean,
right?
I want to get a big Mantar entrance. Like, Last Breath's coming up, so big entrance. Maybe I'll get the giant Mantar head.
You gotta put like the Vader thing on it too, where like it smokes out.
Oh yeah, that would be sick. That would be sick.
I'm not gonna lie. This has been talked about before, about putting, but it was very expensive. We wanted chains hanging from it and stuff.
Yeah.
It was drawn up. There was fog machines installed into it. It was drawn up. The eyes lit up red, but it was just very expensive, so it just never happened.
We had Fala, and like Pat Buck suggested to Fala that he should get like a panda embroiderment, and he thought like a full panda suit. And he was so excited he was gonna wear a panda outfit. And then it didn't it didn't happen, and he was, remember he was telling us that story.
It depends how far you want to go with your gimmick. Like I've been thinking how badly I want to get a brand.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it,
man.
like a tattoo, a brand tattoo, maybe.
that'd be awesome.
But then it's just like you got to think about it. So it's something that you really need to set your mind to and say, okay, am I going to be Brandon the Bull for the next 20 years? What if I get signed and they want to change my gimmick?
Yeah.
So it really depends. Like, WWE might look at me, somewhere else might look at me and be like, hey, I don't want to sign him because he has a bull tattoo on his arm. Yeah. So I just screwed myself because of that. So you really have to...
Laser removal.
Yeah. At that point, I think I just get it covered up.
Yeah. You go to WWE like, we want you to be Brandon the Bear.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, I could have been this, man.
Wear a wristband over it.
Oh man, that's funny.
So you were just recently at Comic-Con. You just talk about interacting with the fans there, what the scene was like.
There was a lot of fans that recognized me from Grimm's Toy Show there, which I was very surprised about. Cause like I'm just walking, I hear Brandon the Bull, and I like turn around, and the kid's like, "You're from Grimm's Toy Show, right?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, that's me." And I just kept walking, and there was quite a few of them. Comic-Con was awesome. It was my first year going there. I'm not really into the movies, TV shows. Like I don't watch Gotham. I don't watch TV shows. I don't watch superhero movies. But there's some things there that I connect with. I liked all Star Wars stuff there. I went with King Tech and Dave Swan. I know Dave Swan and King Tech are really into the TV shows, the movies. So seeing their excitement was cool, pretty cool. We went to a Kevin Smith panel. That was awesome. He talked about season 7 of Comic Book Men, and they showed a trailer of it. It looks pretty awesome, and Kevin Smith just seemed very down to earth, very cool, not like one of the celebrities that you want to hate.
Yeah.
Nice. Now let's kind of talk about working with Grimm's Toy Show, because Grimm, he has fans that are crazy. They know everybody. We even have fans who loyal, talk to us because we interviewed people that were on Grimm's Toy Show. The power of his show is just amazing. It's crazy.
They're pretty insane. I had to close my DMs on Twitter because of how many messages I got. The notifications are insane.
Yeah.
Me and Grimm are very, very good friends. The way we became friends was very weird. I was at a WWE Extreme Rules show when I was 18, and I bumped into Grimm there, and I used to watch Grimm's videos when it was just the vlogs and the toys that he would play with, and I thought they were hilarious. So I was really drunk at this Extreme Rules show beforehand, and I saw him, and I ran up to him, and you can find the video on YouTube. I ran up to him, and I'm just like, "Oh my God, you're Grimm!" And they were filming the whole time. And looking back at it, it's super embarrassing, but I was like, "Oh my God, you're Grimm, this and that," and he filmed me the whole way. I was so drunk, and the comments section was insane. They fell in love with me. They were like, "Bring him back as a character on the show." And then I just never contacted him. I said, "Hey, what's up?" on Twitter and here and there. But then I was at an SWF show, and I was wrestling. I can't remember. Yeah. I was wrestling. It was me and Magic versus Johnny Clash and TJ Warren, their tag team.
Yeah.
And Sandman came out in that match. But Grimm was on that show, and Grimm was managing Kurt Hawkins because that's when they were doing their feud thingy. And I seen Grimm, and I was just like, "Do you remember me?" And he goes, "Yeah, I was waiting to see if you remembered me." I was like, "Yeah, I remember you." I was like, so then we did a video there too. Then I seen him at another show, and we were talking, and I was like, "Dude, like, I own a ring, right, in my backyard that I train in."
Yeah.
He goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Here's my number." So he came over, we filmed a video. He ended up buying his own ring,
Nice.
and then it just kind of blew up.
Yeah,
and I was just and I went to the warehouse recently, and I just looked at him and I go, "Did you ever think like this?"
Yeah.
Like, because I told you I had a ring in my yard that you'd be doing this, and he goes, "No, I never imagined this." But it's a lot of fun there. It is a lot of fun. When I go there, I make sure I work with certain people.
Yeah.
Because obvious reasons, but it is a lot of fun there, and the following is insane. But Twitter's insane, like you said. Like, people reach out to you, and people are gonna reach out to you because TJ was on the podcast. I'm on the podcast. If you like follow us on the podcast, people are gonna reach out to you and be like, "Oh, how was he? This and that," and it's just it's literally insane.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have like the perfect character where it's like, it's like you're a monster at UWA, and it's like people take you serious, and it's like you have that character that like kids who watch Grimm will love you too. It's like, he's a bull. I love him. He has a mask on.
You're working with.
Like, the mask helps too.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. You have to just know the fan base you're working with. Like, oh, do I be funny here, or do I be a monster here?
Yeah.
And like, I went to a WWE show with Grimm. He got tickets, and I went with him to just a random Raw in Newark, and the amount of fans that came up to us was like insane. Like, we couldn't even get to our seats because of how many people were yelling at us.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I'll watch like Raws or pay-per-views, and I'll see people in the front row or whatever. They're visible on TV with Grimm shirts. I'm like, wow. You
actually ended up winning the GTS championship. How was that?
It was fun. I just went there and I won it on my first time there ever. And he was just like, "All right, well, we're gonna do this with you." And then
lost it to Vlad.
Yes, I lost it to Vlad, and then I stopped going for a little bit because work and everything. And then we ended up getting the warehouse, and I remember doing the warehouse video with him. And then I went back again to the warehouse, and he goes, "All right, we're gonna give you the U.S. title." And I was just like, "All right." Oh my God. And I literally held the U.S. title for a day, like, on the videos. An hour there, but it's a day on the videos. But he keeps telling me, he's like, "Dude, you gotta come, you gotta come, you gotta come." He always texts me, "You gotta come." Like, just with work and everything, it's an hour drive away. It's just, it's so hard.
Is it true that you own 2 copies of every Backstreet Boys album?
No, that's not true.
Yeah, where do you get these sources from, bro?
I'm only 21 years old. I don't even know a lot of Backstreet Boys stuff.
Man, it's the Grimm's facts.
No, don't believe any of those fans.
No?
Oh man, that's funny. So can we like let's go back. Like, when did you start training for wrestling, and like when did you decide like I'm going to take this serious and I want to be a wrestler?
Well, everyone, even if people deny it, every indie wrestler, 90% of them were backyarders at one point.
Yeah.
And then there's a point in time where it's like, okay, I think I want to start taking this serious. And I was only backyarding for a very short time before I was like, okay, it's time to start taking this serious. And I started training at 14, 15 with Eric Corvus, and made my debut in 2012. So in 2012, I was trying to do the math here. I was 16 in 2012. So I started training in 2010. That sounds right, yeah. And I never thought that I'd be this far already.
Yeah.
What does UWA Elite mean to you, and the progression that you've seen it take since you got there?
UWA Elite means everything to me. That's home to me. Like, it doesn't I don't know how to explain it. I have a love for UWA that I don't really have for anywhere else. Like everywhere else just seems like work. But UWA, like it's just weird. Everyone's a family there. The locker room is insane. Like we have so much fun. It's like you look forward to going to wrestling when it's UWA. And I'm sure there's other guys that are bigger that would say the exact same. Like I'm sure Kyle would say the exact same. Kyle has, like, we have so much fun in that locker room. But it's just weird because you can have fun in other locker rooms, but you don't want to rub people off the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whenever I'm in a locker room with TJ Marconi, I'm always messing with them. I like to mess with people. That's my thing. So people always are like, oh, you're this big monster, but you're always, like, joking around and messing with people. Like, I'll go into detail after the podcast. So now you said like, oh, there's some things you can't talk about on the podcast. This is one of the things. Like, I'll go in detail later. But yeah, I like to play pranks on people and stuff in the locker room. So that's like my fun part. So UWA, I get it, like I can mess with people and stuff, and I don't know. That's just home to me. It means everything to me. I try to do everything for UWA. Like, I owned at one point, like, all the sound system was all me. Like, I try to put so much, like, into it that I just want to pay. Like, whenever I give Dave ideas, I'm just like, I just want to give you back, like, what you gave to me. So, like, he gave me my wrestling career. He gave me the mask. Like, he gave me everything. So I just want to give back to him with ideas and, like, stuff, like, outside ideas. Like, we got the new ring skirt banners. And we got the new ring post magnets. I hooked them up with a guy to get all that stuff. So, like, just, like, even if it's, like, the littlest thing, it's just, like, I'm trying to give him back what he gave to me.
Yeah, like paying it forward.
Yeah, like paying your dues in a sense.
Yeah, because it's really starting to show. Because you talked about branding. Like again the tattoo and stuff and things like that. And it's crazy how UWA Elite. You got the TV on top of the entranceway and stuff like that. Now you have the banners up. I mean, they're really trying to expand, and make it look bigger than and it's getting there.
Yeah, well,
really is.
Well, that's
really
the thing. Like, I honestly feel that sometimes people go to WWE shows for the entertainment, not necessarily just for the wrestling. The wrestling's great, but like people are going for the big entrance and the lights and the video packages and this and that. That makes the full experience. So it was to the point where it was like, okay, UWA is expanding. It's time to get a entranceway. So we got the steel entranceway, we got the entrance videos that go, and I really think that makes it more fun for fans. Yeah, because they see that stuff, the lights change, and it's cool. It's
kind of cool because you guys now have like a lead into the show. You have a pre-show now, like a kickoff thing, and then you have that voiceover video that Colin does or something like that, somebody does, and it gives you, like you said, like a bigger feeling. That's why my buddy likes WrestlePro, because it has the stage, they have the entrance, he likes the characters too.
Exactly, you just said that. That's why your friend likes it. So that's why he would go to WrestlePro over this place or that place.
So and it's crazy that you're absolutely right about that. So what do you see in the future for UWA Elite? Because right now you guys I feel like you just keep growing and growing.
I don't know. I honestly don't. The future is going to tell, but
it looks bright though.
There's definitely bright lights. Hopefully the next big step is getting out of the church and getting into a bigger building. Yeah. That's the next big step for UWA Elite.
Do you think maybe some more bigger names coming through? Because you had like the Spirit Squad, you had some big names come through every once in a while. Matt Stryker,
that'll come with time.
Do you think that might come too?
Yeah, that'll definitely come with time. But with that, we need the fans. So like, it needs to be a profitable thing. Yeah. Like if you could say, oh hey, I'm gonna bring in this guy that costs $500, but then I'm gonna sell 60 tickets, and that's $600. I'm making $100 profit on that. If the profit's not guaranteed, it's hard. So bringing in the people, like bringing in the fans, and then but it's also cool that we're building up a company off straight homegrown talent and other indie guys. Like Matthias Glass came into UWA Elite, and he fits in perfect, like with us. Like he loves it there, and it's just like we got Kyle the Beast. He was homegrown talent. Me, TJ Blade, Mike Seaway, all homegrown guys that like are big now. Bose, King Tech, and we're just trying. We're trying our hardest, and like you said, like the video packages beforehand, you don't understand how excited that makes me. It makes me so. I immediately messaged the guy who makes this stuff, and I'm just like, hey, can you send it to me? Like, can you post it?
Yeah,
like in our roster page so we could watch it. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, and it was awesome because like you guys had like the Buffalo by the numbers, you know, and like it's crazy how like somebody took the time to like do all the stats, and I'm like, that is nuts. Like,
you don't understand.
It's crazy.
Like that was all Dave and Colin and the guy who made it.
Yeah.
And Dave and Colin, I want to say, spent like 2 weeks just watching stuff and like writing it up, and like the amount of stats they got was insane. So I told Colin, I was like, we should do one for Last Breath. We should do one for Last Breath. Because this Last Breath is the first Last Breath in 4 years I'm not in a ladder match. Like that's so weird. Like the 2013 I wrestled John Rome. 2014 it was me and John Rome versus the Rogues. And then 15 and 16 I was in golden ticket ladder matches. So like this is the first year I'm not in a ladder match. So it's just going to be very strange for me. Because I always like to do the big thing in the ladder matches. I always like to take the big bump. So,
and I was gonna say, like, one thing with like UWA is like you guys, like you said, like it's a lot of homegrown talent, and it's like you guys honestly don't need the stars to come in, but you know, from a general fan's point of view, you know, they're gonna come if they see a flyer. You know, I don't know, Cody Rhodes is coming, so they're gonna say, oh yeah, let's go to that show.
The stars are a plus for us because like when Bro Team Pack wrestled Spirit Squad, like that match was awesome. I'm trying to think who else like we had at UWA Elite. We had Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal versus Mike Quest was awesome. Marty Jannetty was there once, and it's just it's they've never those names never had like a bad match. I mean, maybe Marty Jannetty. But also, those names never have a bad match. So like when they come in, it only boosts us as
gets more eyes on the product as well.
I think we all can agree you would have a complete sellout if Virgil was there. So I think we need
maybe.
to go.
Like, what? He's like, who?
Wrestling superstar Virgil, the greatest of all time. So next to $1 Million Man.
We'll see what happens. I'll talk to some people.
Make it happen.
Oh man, but you guys,
Virgil versus the Bull, like I don't know.
I think you put him up against anybody there, and it's just like a main event.
If you fight Virgil, you guys are making no profit. Trust me.
The bullshitter.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds. This is terrible.
Well, at least we go to Olive Garden after this.
But you guys, you have like a very loyal like fan base there. Like you guys, every time we go to Trinity Church, it's like it's always packed, and it's like we always see like familiar faces,
like the same people.
Yeah, same people.
That's the best part about it is like the loyal fans, and we always gain loyal fans with the Middlesex County Fair. That's like our biggest thing that we do.
Yeah,
it's a blast. I take vacation from work to do it, so that's always the funnest, the most fun thing.
And you had a pretty epic feud with Bose a couple of years back. You just talk about that and the moments that happened throughout that feud.
I mean, I guess it's not finished. So,
yeah, I mean, it just basically seemed like it started up again.
Yeah, but we had a blast with that. At the Middlesex County Fair, we did the superplex from the inside of the ring to the outside through like 30 chairs, and Bose got really hurt. We had the unsanctioned street fight, which me and him don't like to talk about because it just wasn't a very good match.
Yeah.
You could go back and watch it on the UWA Network. There's Colin's plug.
Nice.
You get a discount sometimes?
Yeah. I think it's. I could be wrong, but I think it's first month free with promo code BFIA 2017.
We'll tag everyone in it.
All right, sounds good. So, I mean, I pay for it.
Yeah.
So. If I work for the company and I pay for it, then
yeah,
nobody has an excuse. Nobody gets a pass.
Yeah, definitely. So let's say who do you think is the best masked wrestler of all time?
Best masked wrestler of all
He's
time.
gonna say himself.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
wouldn't
can't
say
say
myself.
yourself. Anyone but you.
I'd probably say, dude, that's hard. You're putting me in a strong in a hard spot there, because people always ask me, they're like, "Who's your favorite wrestler?" And I'm like, "What generation?"
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different generations
Yeah.
and different countries, and it's really hard to pick a favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can't pick a favorite wrestler. So to say favorite masked wrestler, one of the guys that pops into my head is Kane.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's a
He's
good pick.
big like me.
Yeah.
I watch him. Kane wrestled for 20 years.
Yeah.
So they say he's one of the smartest guys. So to like sit in a room, like if I could sit in a room with him for like an hour and just pick his brain, that'd be awesome. Vader was awesome.
Yeah.
So I as you can see, like, I like to watch the bigger guys because I could study off of them. Obviously, if you're a cruiserweight, you're not going to go watching Undertaker Vader matches.
Yeah.
But so that's how I study, is I'll watch Vader, Kane, and
Nice.
like how they work and their styles.
Okay, I'll make this easier. Who do you think had the best mask?
The best mask.
The best
Yeah.
mask. Look, that's hard too.
I kind of really like the Sin Cara one.
I like Rey
I like
Mysterio.
Sin
Rey
Cara.
Mysterio had
I like
like
Penta's mask.
Rey Mysterio like had a mask for everything.
Yeah.
Like he
He
had a
always
mask. He had a
changes it,
mask for the
yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like imagine that. Like,
Yeah.
Can you imagine going into his house and just like looking in his closet? Like he probably has
Tons
a
of
closet
masks.
about this size, like
Yeah.
this size,
Right.
With a whole bunch of mannequin heads with masks all across the whole
Yeah,
room.
like that's pretty cool. So
Yeah,
like,
I think my favorite one from him was when like the Heath Ledger Batman came out when he was a Joker.
Yeah.
was that WrestleMania?
And
that
he did
did
at
that? When he
WrestleMania. He
wrestled
did the Joker
JBL,
one.
right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like my favorite one he did.
So,
and the
like,
Flash, I think that one was cool.
If I had the money to do that, like it amazed me when I was a fan seeing Dan Moff and Jersey All Pro and having different gear for
All
every
time.
month,
All
and I'm
the
just
time.
like, and he now the guy that I get my gear from makes his gear,
Nice.
so it's like now I understand it, like because
He always had always a different color.
yeah.
Damn off, man. He was awesome.
It's so cool that he had different gear for every show, and he never duplicated it either.
No.
Like I guess he would just frame it at that point, like boom.
Pretty sure whoever he was getting it from was probably like scared and just like take whatever you want. Yeah.
No, that's not. I wish that's how. I wish I had a relationship with somebody who made masks like that. Like,
Yeah, take whatever you want. Just don't.
because the sad part is, like, my mask is probably worth like $20
Oh,
in
man.
Mexico, but I'm paying out the ass for it.
Supply and demand.
Yeah.
Supply and demand. Oh man.
Oh man, that's funny. So can you talk about like your relationship with like Magic, if you have one?
Yeah, Magic is awesome. He was like a father that you always wanted. He came into UWA in 2012, and I remember I used to wear pleather shorts with the singlet and like tights over it, and he would always tell me like, "Man, get rid of your freaking pants," and I'd be like, "What do you mean?" Like, he's like, "Just get rid of them." So one day, and he denies this story, but it's 100% true. Whether he wants to deny it or he doesn't. He hid my pants on me, so I couldn't wear them.
That's funny.
Maybe it was him, maybe it was it was definitely him, but I'll give him the benefit of that to say that maybe it was someone else. He hid my pants on me and my match was up, and I had to go out and in just my singlet, and I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't comfortable with it, but whatever did the trick, right? And then I watched the match on camera, and I was just like, damn, I look good. So yeah, and he told the same thing to Bose. Like for the longest, he was like, "Dude, you got to get out of this doctor gimmick. You got to get out of the pants."
Yeah.
And he did. So, and now he loves it. Now he can't even imagine wrestling with pants on. But I've been thinking about getting like long tights and going like the Vader route, like like the one piece.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
But it's like TJ Marconi does that. He wears the tights with the singlet. So I've been thinking about doing that, but.
Some fur on the side or something like that.
No, that's too much like Bull James. But, I don't want to steal his character completely.
Yeah.
But that's my big thing. Like why I don't want to do the tights is because that's what Bull James does. Bull James wears the one piece, so it's like how much can I be like him before he finally messages me, stop stealing my crap.
Yeah, seriously, right? Yeah. Is there anyone like now that you go to for advice that like just gives you advice? Anyone that's like a big influence for you?
Magic, Arcadia, Eric Corvus, and Kyle the Beast.
Yeah.
Those are like the 4 main guys. Like I'll ask, like I'll go up to them and be like, "Do you think this is dumb?" And they'll tell me. They'll be like, "No, it's cool," or "No, you're stupid." But but no, those are the 4 main guys that like I'll ask stuff to. Corvus always helps me out with my music, my character, like getting the voice down, getting the promos down. Arcadia and Kyle always help me with the wrestling, and then Magic's just like an all-around great person. Like help you with anything, life in general will help you with. There's times where people have told me that they're just on the phone with Magic till 2 a.m, and I'm just like, "Oh, I'm doing something wrong because I'm not calling Magic at 2 a.m." But no, like Magic's that all-around great guy, and that's why he had a show for him, and he didn't even want the show for himself. You know what I mean? Like he didn't want that show, but we had to force it upon him that show had to be done. So he was sitting there the whole day at the SWF show, like, thank you, and we're just like, stop saying thank you because this is for you. This isn't for us.
Yeah, definitely deserves it.
It's for you guys to say thank you to him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So when you see a guy who gets that much respect out of 35 years, do you think that's the guy you want to be? You know, down
absolutely. And I think that like there's a like you could go back and you could look at that show, and every single person on that show has like kind of like a brotherhood because Magic led us to believe that in wrestling. So like I'm very close with TJ Marconi. I'm very close with Eric Corvus. There's a lot of guys that I'm very, very close with that was on that show. And I think I have competition because I want to be Magic. I want to be the guy that's been around for so long that everyone like help people in the long run. And like there's guys like Jordan and Christian who are younger than me. I'm only 21. But then there's guys like Christian and Jordan who are 18, and I tried to help them because people helped me when I was that age. So I'm trying to be that guy. But I think I have a lot of competition because everyone's going to want to be that guy because Magic was so great to everybody. So everybody wants to follow his shoes and his footsteps.
Yeah. What do you see as like your ultimate goal in wrestling?
My ultimate goal in wrestling is to be able to not work a job. Where wrestling is my job. Where I don't have to wake up at 9 a.m. and worry about getting to work. Like this, I want this to be the job. So, I mean, it doesn't happen easily. And I'm only 21, so I have some time to figure some stuff out to make that a reality. But until then, I have backup plans and stuff because you should. And there's people that are younger than me that don't have backup plans and don't want to go back to school. And that's my biggest regret, was not going back to school. And there's people that don't want to go back to school, and I'm trying to like put it in their brain like, dude, I'm only 21 and I'm struggling and I'm scared because I didn't go back to school. So like wrestling is 50-50. I wouldn't even go that far. Like the chances of you making it are very slim, especially in Jersey. Like the amount of wrestling in Jersey is insane.
Yeah.
So on the East Coast, I would say the amount of wrestling on the East Coast is insane. So I'm trying to like plant it in younger people's heads, like go to school and figure something out. Go to a tech for 1 year if you have to. Yeah. Because I'm regretting not doing that, and I still have time to go do that, to go to like a Lincoln Tech or something to figure some stuff out. But I have backup plans and everything because there's a chance that wrestling's not going to work out as a full-time job.
So when you watch wrestling today, do you look for the bigger guys still, or do you still, or do you watch just everything? Everything you can watch.
Now I watch everything. Okay. But like, I mean, if I'm like, there's times where I'll be like, all right, I want to like change up a little bit of what I do, then I'll sit down and study. But for the most part, I'll watch everything. I'll watch the cruiserweights because then it gives me ideas too. Like with other guys, like you'll see something maybe in a cruiserweight match that's cool that you could do in your match. You really never know with wrestling. It, like how it was explained to me by Corvus and Magic, it's flavors of ice cream. You like vanilla, you like strawberry, you like chocolate. you're not all gonna like the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you might hate one wrestler and he loves him. So it's really hard. So you just need to find out who likes you, and you need to figure stuff out. Then there's fan favorites, and then there's people that you legitimately hate because you just don't think they're good. So you want to be that fan favorite. You want to find things to be able to connect with people. You want to stay viral. Like, it's hard to explain. You want to stay with things that are happening in the world.
Yeah.
Like, people are wearing the Make America Great Again hats to get themselves heat because
Thomas.
people don't like Trump.
Yeah.
Some people like Trump. So some people like him, some people don't. I'm not going to get into political stuff because this isn't a political podcast. But you know what I mean? Like, you're going to wear a Make America Great Again hat if you want hate, depending where you're at.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, Miles Thomas, right? He gets into the Brawl for All, and he only gets, there's 2 opportunities for him to be eliminated, and the place just erupted. I've never seen, like...
Oh, they legitimately hate him.
Yeah, and like, there's only 2, because like, it was quiet, and like moments where they needed to be loud, the fans they were. But when they threw him over, like the first time, it erupted. It went crazy. And it's funny how you just bring that up, because it is cheap heat.
Yeah, he's legitimately one of the guys you just want to punch in the face. Like when he's like, as a character, he comes out with the megaphone. Yeah, and he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a cherry on top.
So, and early in the night, him and Matthias Glass, which is probably it's a funny pairing too. So it is true to what you were saying.
I really wanted to see that, but unfortunately, the monitor in the back went out. Like, the last 2 shows, it wasn't working.
I enjoyed it. So
I definitely got to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying, I mean, to your credit, that I mean, sometimes people just do like stuff like that to get the cheap heat.
You have to. I mean, it's wrestling. You have to. And one of the things that I did for cheap heat, I was at an SWF show in a firehouse, and it was a 6-man tag, and I was wrestling the Patriot.
Oh, man.
And he's swinging the flag, and I grabbed the flag, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, now what do I do with it in my head? But, like, it went so quick. So I grab the flag and I throw it over the top rope onto the ground. And right when it hits the ground, I'm just like,
oh, shit.
Oh, I just made a big mistake. I just threw the American flag on the ground. Yeah. And like, the whole time I'm in the corner, like, oh, man. I'm so ashamed of myself. And I get to the back and I go to the Patriot, dude, I'm so sorry I did that. Like, I was just in the moment. And he goes, no, it was awesome. And I'm just like, what? Like, I threw the American flag. I was like, I don't care about your gimmick or anything. Like, I threw the American flag on the floor and I was disgusted with myself.
You should have been like a bull and just started grazing on it, you know?
Like I said, it just goes so fast. And that's the thing with wrestling. Like, they tell you, like, if you feel like it's going slow, go slower. Yeah. Sometimes things just go so fast that you don't even think twice about it, and that's a bad thing in wrestling. But it happens.
Was this like pre-mask or post-mask?
This was post-mask.
Okay, so no one can see your face.
Yeah, no one knows who I am. No,
they can't find you outside.
People were waiting for me in the parking lot. No, I'm just kidding.
Where's that bull at?
But it, like
Mark F. Haggerty.
But it wasn't even like it was just at like a random VFW. It was at like a firehouse. So it was that's what made it 10 times worse. Yeah. So
it was like when they told him to park away from the venue.
Yeah.
I mean, the boos were cool. Like people really grasped onto it. So I got good heat from it.
Do you prefer being the good guy? Because a lot of people say it's hard to be the good guy.
I prefer to be the good guy. Because like you said before, like people connect with the mask. Yeah. So there's always kids in the crowd. Kids always connect with the mask. Yeah. So for me, it's easier to be a good guy, but I can be like that's hard. I don't like being the bad guy, but I will be if I have to. Yeah. But
I feel like it's just so hard to hate a guy with a mask.
Exactly. But
think about it.
But
look at Kane, though.
Besides Vader.
But then you see, but then a promoter's like, oh, look at his size. He has to be heel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just...
You didn't hate Kane in like 98?
No?
I never hated
That was the attitude there.
I always pulled for The Undertaker, though. That was just me.
I legitimately hated JBL. when I was younger. Legitimately
hated
hated him.
JBL. I love
then-
JBL.
And now I go back and I look at it and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, he was great.
I love JBL.
He was great. Like, but I legitimately hated him at one point. I was just like, when is he gonna drop the belt? Like,
Yeah.
That's the best part.
hated
He's a
him.
wrestling god.
It was great. And then they tried to do it with Del Rio and it just didn't work.
Well, now they're trying to do it with Mahal.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
man.
it.
Yeah, Mahal's
Jinder
really
Mahal's great. He definitely earned that spot. And if people
hate
say
when-
otherwise,
Yeah, I
they're
hate
wrong.
that they're hating on him. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it too. It's great. I hope he holds it till WrestleMania.
That'd be
The
awesome.
only thing is, I just hate that they're burying like Nakamura. I feel like but I want to see Nakamura as the champion. I want to see both. It's like a 50-50.
It's
with
hard.
me.
It's hard.
But Ginger, I have to say, he's doing a great job.
But there's money to be made in Shinsuke chasing the belt than there is.
Yeah.
Once he gets the champion, then it's like,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
it was kind of like the same deal with Daniel Bryan. Like, everyone loved seeing Daniel Bryan chasing for the title, and then he won the title. It was just like,
That's the same
all
as
right,
I said.
yeah.
It's like you love seeing him chase the title, but you don't want him to actually win the title.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
That's
Yeah.
why I didn't hold the belt long. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just-
You like seeing you chase it. That's what bulls do, man. Oh man.
Well, eventually they catch you, so you caught the title.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. All right, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, man. So Brandon, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today, and hopefully you'll come back and talk to us some more.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you fun?
Yeah, and can you tell our fans like where they can find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook, just Brandon the Bull.
Nice.
That's my Facebook. You can add me. I might not add you back because that's also my personal Facebook. But you can find me on Instagram at Brandon the Bull. You can find me on Twitter at Brandon_the Bull. I don't have Tumblr. You might be able to find me on Tinder. It depends what week of the month it is.
This is history right here.
I'm just kidding.
First gotta drop the Tinder. This is history right
Drop
here,
my
man.
Tinder. Drop my Plenty of Fish. My grinder.
You gotta swipe right. You gotta swipe right, right?
Yeah,
You gotta swipe right. There you go.
right. No, Twitter, Brandon_the Bull. Instagram, just Brandon the Bull. Facebook, you might find me. Add me as a friend. I might accept.
Yeah, he's the guy that all the Grimm's Toy Show fans are all following and messaging and writing on his wall.
Oh, it's insane the amount of messages on Facebook. They try calling you and video calling you. And I'm just like, I have to block them. I message them. I'm like, hey, I'm blocking you because... And like, I do it in the most professional way. I'm just like, hey, I'm blocking you because you keep calling me and I'm a real person. Like, I'm not a celebrity.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter and I literally drop my social media to them because I don't have time to be dealing with their messages when I'm at work and my phone's ringing.
And it's like so hard because you don't want to be like a douche to kids.
No,
It's
absolutely
like,
not. But sometimes you have to like set them straight and be like, listen, like, and they're gonna be like 21 years old and look back. Why did I message?
Yeah, seriously. Well, we appreciate you taking the time out.
I had a blast.
Coming
It
on the
was
show.
fun.
As for us, we're Wrestling IQ 101. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101, at WrestlingIQ101.com.
B Plus Player Radio.
Listen to us on the B Plus Player Radio Network.
Subscribe.
iTunes, Google Play, all that great stuff, Stitcher. And we are out. You have just listened to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast, powered by B Plus Player Radio.
One more for the good guy.